Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chess Beauty 100. We finally reached the end of the series. I may make more of these in the future, but I'll probably concentrate on other things for the channel content in the near future. But for a final study, this particular one by Miljanic, not sure about the pronunciation, is a fitting end to this series. It was the 2015 study of the year. It's white to play and win. So take a look at it, see what you think. The first move is not so hard to find. It's probably the first one you looked at, and it's c6 check. Pawn is threatening several things, but obviously we can't take with the queen because rook takes queen, and white's going to win the subsequent endgame there. So he can try king takes a6. That doesn't work, however, because of c takes d7, and the discovered check wins the queen. Conversely, after c6 check, he can play king to b6, and we have the exact same problem. C takes d7, discovered check, winning the queen. You can also play king to a7, but this loses because the knight hangs after queen takes d7 check. Black has no other choice but to take the queen. C takes d7, and the pawn really can't be stopped. Rook f8, knight to c5, king to b8, rook to e6, king to c7, rook to e8, and that's easily winning for white. So black has to go to king to a8. Now what does white do in this position to further his game? Well, what he doesn't do is play queen takes d7. That's a mistake, because after rook to e2, king to f3, queen to b8 check, king takes e2, queen to f3 check, king takes f3. That is stalemate. So if white doesn't accept the queen, then the queen can just keep harassing the king. So that's going to be a draw either way. Let's go back to the position after king to a8. And another try for white is rook to g8. Looks attractive with the pin on the queen, but after knight f6, that's simply a draw. King to e3, knight takes g8, king takes f2, queen takes c6, queen takes g8 check, king to a7, knight to b8, queen to b6, and that's just a straight draw. Okay, so going back, after king to a8, black's first move, the winning move is the very surprising knight to c7. Taking the knight is actually forced because all other moves win for white by either queen takes d7, he plays king to b8, c takes d7, queen takes c7, queen to a8, check, and that is winning. Of course, he's threatening to. He's going to queen the pawn next move, and mate will be relatively simple. Other choice here, instead of queen takes c7 after knight takes c7, you could try running away with king to a7, but then again the same thing happens. Queen takes d7, queen takes d7, c takes d7, rook to e2, king to d3, and the pawn is going to queen. Black can't stop it. As we said, after knight to c7 check, the only move for black is queen takes c7. And now, rook to g8 is a good move. And black doesn't have very many good responses here. You can try knight to f8, but then queen takes queen seems to be a good response. So after rook to g8 check, you can also try running away with king to a7, but then queen takes d7, and that is winning. You can try something like rook to f4 check, king to e3, king to f7, queen to d4, and white can win a very technical endgame here. If you put this into an engine, it shows hefty winning advantage for white. The variations are rather boring, so I won't take up a lot of time by showing you that. Just trust me. If you don't trust me, then put this position into your engine, and you'll see that it's easily winning. Okay, so going back, we established that knight to f8 and king to a7 were not good responses to rook to g8 check. So that leaves us with rook to f8, which is the main line of the study. And now rook takes f8. It's rather unfortunate for black. If he plays knight takes rook, queen to c7 will be mate in 2. He plays knight to b8 instead, with a stalemating idea here. So if white was foolhardy enough to play queen takes c7, well, that's just stalemate. So after knight to b8, the key to the study is queen to h6. Very unassuming move there. So after queen to h6, this very mysterious move on the part of white, the best move for black seems to be queen to h7 check. And this is an attempt to force stalemate. The winning move is the surprising rook to f5. And really, black doesn't have much better than queen takes queen, black's best move. But then white tidies up by playing rook to a5, knight to a6, only move. Rook takes a6, check. King to b8, only move. c7, king takes c7, rook takes h6. And the judges said of this study, brilliant sacrificial anti-stalemate play on an open board with the heavy cannons absolutely free. The battery rook and pawn is created already in the first move to trap the black queen by checking her king should he move to the 6th rank. Following an amazing journey highlighted by 6 rook to f5, the very same rook eventually lands on the other side of the very same battery line to complete the initial job by role exchanges with the pawn in regards to the enemy royal couple. A highly original concept presented in an exemplary setting. A remarkable achievement. And I must agree. And with that, I will bid you a fond adieu, or a fondue if you prefer. And we'll see you in some other video. But thank you for all of your support and for watching over the years. Greatly appreciated. Take care.